Greetings, dear viewers, and welcome to the first international roundtable global discussion after the forum Global Crisis. We are people, we want to live. And today I would like to congratulate each and every of you for your participation in preparation of this unprecedented event. Yesterday, the whole world was watching the live stream during 11 hours. People were sharing their emotions. They were crying. They were asking, why are we living like this? The society, they dominate poverty, hunger, a lot of inhuman behavior between people. How can we continue the same way? Why don't we change it? And motivated by these questions and by the desire to make this world a better place to live for everyone, to build a creative society, people all around the world united yesterday. And the topics which were voiced, they were very painful, but it was the truth which had to be voiced because the world is changing. Then we start to be honest. This is how we grow up as a society, as individuals. And I want to say that this forum could happen and took place only thanks to each of you, dear friends and dear viewers. If you didn't yet watch the forum, please don't lose this opportunity. Your life won't be the same after the information which this forum brought to you. So I would like to say that the main keynote speakers of yesterday's forum are today with us during this broadcast. And I would like to ask you guys, can you please answer the question which is mostly asked by people? Why are you participating in the Creative Society project, and why did you participate in preparation of this forum?
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you today again, the day after the forum. Yesterday we were in the live broadcast for 11 hours, but this was after months and months of preparation. Preparation it was hard work for every single volunteer that participated. We collected so many facts, cross-checked all the facts, make sure everything is right. It was so hard at times to watch those videos. Really, it was so painful to watch the videos. But the truth is, I think that that's the truth. That's what we need to see. So yes, those videos are painful, but that's the truth. That's how people live day in and day out. When we see the pictures of refugees, when we see the images of what people go through after the disasters, climate disasters, it is so painful. And then, I wanted to share a story too. Last night, after I came home after the forum was over, I came home and I saw on my front porch, my son wrote, "I love you, Mom." And I knew that this is why we're doing this. This is why I'm doing this, because I want to make sure that every single child, when you look at those refugees, when you look at those kids, when you look at the people that just went through the climatic disasters, you look into their eyes and you know that you're the one that knows the truth and you can make their lives better. And I think that's what keeps me going every day. That's what should keep us going every day, because we know the solution. We know that in the Creative Society, every child will have a home. We know that every single person will benefit in the Creative Society. And, it's like every single person today knows that the way we live, it's not beneficial. Every single person complains and understands that this world is going into a black hole. We all know this. And after watching the conference, after looking at the facts of what's going to happen with the 12,000-year cycle, we understand that soon the disaster will strike everywhere. And instead of uniting, we're being separated by wars, by, politicians, but by someone's telling us what to do and, constantly divides us. It's that old model of divide and conquer instead of us, uniting together. And but we have the solution. And the solution is so simple. Just by building the creative society, it will benefit every single person. And I just want to say that, that's what motivates me every day. Even if we have that, small percent of building the creative society and bringing this information to the people, we need to take that chance. We need to see the truth, and we need to realize that this could be our last opportunity, but we are the ones that can make a difference and share this information with every single person, because today the future really depends on the 8 billion people on this planet. And so I have to say that's what motivates me to every day to, share this information and to get ready for forums such as the one that was yesterday. Thank you.
Yeah.
Olga, this is very interesting. You put everything from a somehow altruistic view. Yeah, you talk about all the people in the world, the others that are living in poverty, suffering from hunger, not having a fair paid job or not having a job at all. And this is all true. But you can boil it down even to the simplest thing. Every one of us is being cheated, really, is being cheated, is being ripped off, and is being offered only lies. I've also been asked this question, why am I doing this? What's the motivation? And I'm telling you honestly, I'm so fed up of having to check everything to see if it's true or not. When I go to the supermarket, I take a product, whichever, I have to look at it. What's inside of it? Is it healthy? Is it not? It says vegetable oil. Is it palm oil or rapeseed oil? Is it good or bad? When I have to go to, let's say, my wardrobe in the morning, or I go to the clothing shop, I have to think, were people tortured when doing this? Were they maybe not paid? Were maybe pregnant women toiling, 12 hours a day and to do this for, $1 per day or something like this? And the fashion company sold this to me for $50, while a super sports star gets $10 million for advertising. When I go to the doctor, let's say, this is even more disturbing. And now, since I have a child, my daughter just turned 1, it's been such an experience to see, is this true what the doctor says? What the drug company says, you have to check. Is it really good? Is it bad? Are there any side effects? If you care about your health, your child's health, you have to do detective work with every single thing, because everywhere you look, you're offered just lies, really, just lies. And not only lies, you're also ripped off, really, ripped off with everything. So all the prices that you pay, the interest that you pay, and everything. And I'll tell you honestly, you can even put it from an egoistic perspective. I'm fed up with this. I think everyone is fed up with this. If you open your eyes and you see what's the story behind everything, really every single product or service, if you go really through the supply chain to the back of it, you see only horrible stories, how people are exploited, children have to work, even animals are tortured, and the environment is destroyed. And we're destroying our home, our health, and our lives. And from a professional perspective, I'm a business consultant. And, I went to university and there were interesting things I learned there. And I could apply this in the world of finance. But after some years, I understood that we only make rich people richer. When new people come into the company and they say, oh, Chris, what do you do here? And all those things, I tell them, guys, at the end of the day, we make rich people richer. And that's it. You can find many fancy names, many nice words for what you're doing and describe your job. No, we're making rich people richer. And now it's time to pay the bill. It's time to pay the bill. And it was said yesterday in the very beginning that we can be destroyed either by a nuclear war, a nuclear apocalypse, or by a climatic apocalypse. And in both outcomes, we're all dead. Really, we're all dead. And we want to live, right? So we want to live and we want to know the truth. So I think there's a lot of motivation really for everyone to start joining and finding out the truth. As easy as that. At least from my perspective.
Yeah, after everything you shared, guys, I think it's the right moment to show the extract from yesterday's forum. for our viewers because it recently finished, so maybe not all people had an opportunity to watch it, especially those for whom it was a night time. So let's watch a short video about the forum. It will give us more understanding what we are talking about.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. The last war of humanity is already going on. We are under attack by the enemy against whom we have no weapons. Our enemy has neither soul nor feelings. It does not have a shred of honor or justice. It is cruel and inhumane. It attacks recklessly and mercilessly. It destroys everyone in its way, sparing neither women nor the elderly or children. This human killer of ours is climate.
Humanity's last war is already underway. The enemy is destroying everyone in its path, and these are just its first attacks. It won't agree on humanitarian corridors. It won't sign a peace agreement. It doesn't need time to regroup, and it won't run out of missiles. With each new attack, the enemy only gets stronger. What can we oppose against this enemy? Can we, humans, survive this war? If meanwhile, instead of carrying out planetary mobilization and creating a united front, we are killing each other.
We have only two options to avoid the climate apocalypse. The first option, and the most difficult one, is to build the creative society. The second option is to sit idly and do nothing. In other words, just wait for our tyrants to destroy us in a global nuclear war before the climate does it. Tell me, what must happen for people to finally realize that the creative society is the only way out and to start acting and building it?
Remember that every day of inaction in the consumerist format entails missed opportunities and lost human lives. Whereas every day of active informing about the creative society is a chance for saving people's lives and survival of the entire humanity. Therefore, now as never before, the choice, truth, and actions of every person are extremely important. I would like to express my personal gratitude to the true heroes who do not abandon others in a tough moment and lend a helping hand from their pure hearts, despite any circumstances.
It is not just a forum, friends. It's more than that. It's not just us coming together on the air, seeing and hearing each other. No. It is so much more than that. Today is a really significant day. Why? Because today's event lays the foundation for our future, our common future. We can preserve this planet. We can preserve our home. We can save each other. That's what is most important, each other. Friends, we can save not only each other, but also our descendants, our humankind. and not just as humankind is right now, but as one civilization.
Yeah, it was such an important event, and then people ask me why I participate in the project Creative Society. It started for me in 2004, actually, a long time ago. If you remember that horrific disaster which happened in Thailand in 2004, then many people became victims of the most powerful climatic catastrophe we have heard. At least I have heard during my life at that moment. And as I was part of the travel industry at that moment, I heard a lot of stories. I knew stories of people who went for holidays to Thailand because it was Christmas time, and how they lost their lives, how they lost their families, how they lost their children and everything, just because they took a decision to go there for Christmas time. And there were thousands of lives lost at that moment. And I realized already in 2004 that we are so weak in front of this enemy climate. And then climate comes, then we have no power to do anything to stop it. And for me, it was such a deep understanding that it should not happen, and that especially later then I knew that people, they were not warned, because that tsunami was predicted by scientists, but people were not warned. And actually we could save a lot of people's life. And what we saw then in December in Kentucky, and that was even more disastrous, more horrifying. And just we saw how the whole city just disappeared from the surface of the earth. That really motivates me to act, because I understand very well that this is something which any person can see, confront at any moment of our life, and we never know then it will happen to us. So it's in our common interest today to unite and to understand how terrifying these events are, and how important it is to unite our scientific, humane potential and to find solutions. And then I honestly see what is happening to the world today, and I understand how much energy, money, attention we spend on killing each other, cheating each other, how cruel our society is. I understand that in the current conditions, if we don't change them, then our chances to survive the climatic crisis, they are very low. They are almost zero, actually. And especially then several years ago, the ALLATRA report about the climate crisis, I read it, I found it, I read it, and it gave me so many new facts and so a lot of shocking information about how these climatic disasters come to other countries, how people behave, cases about cannibalism, cases about violence, and also the information, the facts that the climatic disasters are growing, and we are facing more and more of them. If, for example, the event I spoke about happened in 2004, but now every week, every month, we hear about such events. And I think it would be very stupid and unresponsible from our side not to act. That's why I'm acting. I want to have a bright future for all people in the world and for my children as well. I don't want anybody to become a refugee or a victim of the climatic catastrophe. And of course, I definitely don't want people to be victims of wars, of human trafficking. I don't want our society to be destroyed by our own hands. So basically, only we people can change. That's why I'm acting. And I believe that the more we spread the information about the forum, the more we spread the information about creative society, the more our chances grow, because only unifying of humanity can help us to pass through these hard times and to survive. And not only to survive, but to thrive in the future, to live in a prosperous society. And I think that all of us, we want finally not just to survive, we want to live as humans with a capital H. That's why I'm acting today, now, and I invite everyone to join us, because since the project Creative Society started, I realized another thing, that around us there are so many bright, clever, amazing people. We need everyone. We need your brain. We need your heart. We need your hands. We need everything. So that's what concerns me, guys.
Yes, Alina, I totally agree with you. And that's a very good point, actually, that we all see that something's wrong, that something's not going right with our world. And we see politicians constantly saying things and like rarely deliver on them. And we started accepting it as a normal flow of the things. Like, what can we do? Most people say. Some people say, like, they're not even going to have kids because they don't want their kids to grow up in environment like this. And then I started looking into how things operate. Why are things as they are? Why the problems are not being solved, even though we, people, donate a lot of money through our taxes and different things. Some people, lots of good people do donations. Problems are not being solved. And when we started digging more into how things operate, we found out that problems are not being solved because nobody's even trying to solve them, because it's very profitable to have them, because this bureaucracy systems growing around each problem, and they make their living out of the existence of this problem. And we say, but what about the people? What about the majority of the people? But it turns out that the whole system operates in the way that nobody is interested in solving the problems, and each individual by itself feels helpless because the systems work like this. And here's Creative Society offering to change the whole format of living, which is the idea so fresh that at the first glance people say, like, what do you mean? And then we say it again. Like, for myself, it took me a while to actually read, study. At first I was like denying that it's possible, and then more and more you read into it and you're like, wait, if we made this current state operate like this based on consumerism, on inhuman exploitation of people, we have very small percentage of people living on the expense of billions living in poverty and inhumane conditions. If we support this system, then why don't we change the goal? Change the goal. We don't have a goal today. What is the goal of today's society? To enrich a few, to brag with a new car, to take a loan for a new house, and to brag, to get a more expensive wedding, to show pictures on the Instead, like, what's the point of this whole carnival of hypocrisy that we call life, right? This is not life. This is existence. Each one of us feels that something's lacking, and Creative Society is exactly gives you understanding what's been missing, that we can actually make a sustainable system. And I think the word sustainability is being abused today in a lot of cases, but Creative Society is true to its core what sustainability is about. And then to build an environment in which people wouldn't think, oh, I want to have a kid, but it's too expensive, I cannot afford it. Or how am I gonna support my way of living if I'm gonna have kids? Because that's the problem why people don't want to have kids. It's too expensive, right? And what's the point of living then? In this case, when we started digging into it so much, and we see that, oh, it's not a coincidence. Like each one of these things is by design. People who operate in it, they are helpless inside of the system, but the system works by design to benefit a very small group of people. Each law, green energy, for example, people take loans to build those things which are supposed to help us, but who benefits in the very end? It's the banking system that finances it, because they have guarantees that the energy is going to be bought by the state on our expense of our taxes. And even if the whole thing breaks down, falls apart, the banks who financed it are still going to win. If you think about it this way, like, guys, we really have not that much time to change the things. And when we contribute something like we did yesterday, each one of us put small piece of the puzzle, but the whole picture. I'm saying, I don't care if BBC say it's some conspiracy theory or climate denial or whatever. I'm just encouraging people to read the BBC article and then go watch the conference and make a decision for yourself what makes more sense to you, which picture is truthful. Because I'm sure 100% that people, when they see the truth, they are able to recognize it. That is my motivation to participate here, to bring the truth, to find it out myself, and to bring it to the people. So, great honor to be here with you.
Well, friends, it's quite interesting being here with you guys. I wish that the Creative Society was already here. I've been sitting here listening, and you guys have highlighted so many points that are true and interesting. But I feel that we're kind of missing a point of reaching out to those who have known this, because I do believe in my heart and feel in my heart that 99% of the people on this planet do feel that there's something wrong, but they just don't believe in themselves, or they don't believe in the power that they have, or the simple mechanism of what we're doing right now. 2 years ago, I didn't know any of you, but here we are working congruently around the world to bring about change, not just for ourselves, but for people. So let me touch upon that, because you reach a certain point of, okay, why do I do this? Why do I participate in these projects when I have bills to pay, when I have a mother to take care of, when I have brothers to take care of? I got nephews, nieces, cousins, uncles, aunts. I got school, I got jobs, I got children downstairs, I got a wife that needs me, and all these facets of my life require so much of my attention. But why do I give my attention to voiceovers, to these conferences, to saying a kind word, to getting out of my car to pass out flyers when the voice in my head is so loud and tells me not to do it? It's actually really simple for me. I remind myself of periods of my life from 1991, when I was born, to 2000. Okay, life was this way. There was nothing but gangs in the world and wealth accumulation. And then take 2000 to 2020, and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed in the world that I existed in, that I exist in today. And you want to change. So you try to join an organization, and, let's say you love trees like I do, and you try to go plant more trees, and you're like, that's still not solving anything. A 5-year-old Susie down the street still is sitting in a crack house while her mom's at work, or someone overseas, an entire country, they have to walk 5 to 15 miles just to get a drop of water. Or you end up in a war zone, and you don't understand why you're there, because deep in your heart, you understand you do this to make someone else rich. You're not doing it because you're protecting those people. For me, at a deep fundamental level, I could spend an entire hour of highlighting all the things we discussed in the conference.
of why I participate. But I will leave you with just one. Robert had quoted a verse from the Bible yesterday. If you know the right thing and you don't do it, it's a sin. Now let's take that out of the context of religious conundrums. If you feel that you know the right thing to do and you don't go inform someone about Creative Society, how do you live with yourself? You know, when you go to lay down in your bed at night, the fact that you didn't do that thing when you felt you should have done it, it comes to visit you. So for anyone that watches this, I'll leave you with that piece of advice. If you don't believe in yourself and you don't share the information about the Creative Society, write it down. Just do this really simple experiment. Write it down and watch that other moment the next day when you should have shared about the Creative Society, but you didn't. Write it down. And then you'll realize that it's really just as Taliy just put it here, it is all by design. But instead of feeling hopeless, feel empowered that there are people from over 180 countries that feel the same way as you do. Like, this is what I feel in my heart when I struggle with talking to these people that call us climate deniers, because it infuriates me. It is a misnomer of a word. You design a word, you call it climate denialism, and it's only fitting to one specific purpose. If you don't believe in anthropogenic, you're climate denialism. And why do I bring that up? Because that's how we're manipulated with words and how these masks are placed upon us, and why we end up doubting what we feel, why we end up doubting our altruistic potential that we've had since we were children, is because of those design mechanisms. So jump on. Everyone here has said so much. Like I said, I really would spend an hour on it. But before I pass the word to Alex, I would like to say this. It is only going to get worse. Please do not fool yourselves. The wars around the world today that are being televised, I really hope all of you, I pray for all people in the world that you never have to look a person in their eyes when they're thirsty or hungry, and what that animal component has the capacity to do when it wants to survive. On that note, I'll pass it over to Alex. He's got some interesting things to share with us about why he participates, and I personally would love to hear it. Thank you all for the honor of participating here and being with you, and I love you all, and seriously, thank you for stepping over yourselves, and keep doing this for all of our children on this planet, and all the mothers in the world. Happy Mother's Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason, and thank you, everyone. Guys, a lot has been said already about why we all participate. But, to sum several things, I mean, there is deception, there is manipulation, and of the whole society to benefit the few. But these are just, like symptoms of this consumer format of society, which we've been born to and lived all our lives in. And I can also go for hours explaining why I participate, because every topic that we've been studying for the forum, this and all the previous ones, showed us the atrocities. Like, we were like thinking it is not possible. They can't do it, but still it was true that what we've discovered, everything, the ugly stuff, it is there. It is present in our society, and we've been sharing this. But to say briefly why I participate, because we still do not live in the Creative Society. And this is why I participate here, because until this moment in time, when we say, okay, like at least 50% of us, people on this planet, say we want to live in a different way in creative society. Our job is not done. So this is why we participate and doing everything they do. And besides just, digging all the information, that's actually not that hidden about the things that we talked about during all the global crisis events. It is important, very important, to spread this information because, we said this many, many times over during these events. We are taught to shift responsibility to someone else and forget. And we all experience this sense of, consider it done, like someone else is doing it for me. And it's a big organization. Like, oh my God, they have billions of budget. They are doing it well. And their video materials look great. So it's nice. So for me, I should be doing nothing. It's done already. So, and this is where like everything, all this masquerade is how it's happening in this consumer society when, as Christian pointed out, like you don't know, you don't trust because human life is still not the highest value. We cannot trust labels. We cannot trust doctors. We don't know what happened with this or that disease. And should you go and treat your child with this particular medicine or not? Guys, these are all symptoms and consequences of the consumerist format of society we all live in. So it is very, very important to share this information with everyone you know, because if we don't do it, we've seen the proof is there. BBC will or any other mainstream media will only show anything about creative society to discredit us. And if we want really to live in a different world, we should be spreading this information ourselves. We should be this mass media. They call us the masses. Well, we should be the mass media. So let's do it, guys. And I will pass the word to you back and ask you guys, why do you think, like in your own words, why is it important to spread this information very, very quickly and explain to everyone watching us why, if we don't do it, if we think that someone else will do it for us, it will not happen again. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Yes, it's very important to share this information. And, I wanted to say that when we were getting prepared for all the forums for the global crisis conferences, I just want to share a story. I remember in December when the tornadoes hit Kentucky. And, we were getting prepared. We were taking interviews with people there. And they said, we were not prepared. We didn't know it was coming. And just like that, everything was gone. Many people lost their lives. And I remember we were getting prepared with people that live in Ukraine. And they were talking about how crazy it is right now. At least, here we are spreading this information, getting ready. We have, we can take a hot bath. We have food. And just like that, in February, the war started. Do you know what I mean? So right now that we're still in, wherever we are, we need to spread this information because just like that, something can happen. And we saw in the forum that the climate is getting worse. It's a cycle. Everything, is synchronized. You're not going to be warned right now in the consumer society. If something's going to come, nobody's going to warn you. There's nowhere to go and there's no services that will save you after. So right now that we have this opportunity, we have this chance, we need to spread this information as soon as possible so that we can save people's lives because you never know what's going to happen the next moment. Anywhere in the country. It doesn't matter where you are. No one's safe. And only in the creative society can we have the chance, we can have the opportunity to have the unified global service. We will have, unification of scientists. They can talk about how we can prevent the things that are to come. And the sooner we get this information out to the people, the more lives can be saved. So right now, the lives of people depends on every single person. If you watch the conference, if you haven't, go right now on the Creative Society platform. Watch it first. Learn the truth, learn the facts. This is important information that will help you save your life, the lives of your kids, your family, everyone. And then share this information with as many people as you can, because honestly, if you know it, you cannot not share it. You absolutely will share it. So we need to share it as fast as possible. And also, it's great to have new ideas. How can we share it faster? What can we do? Maybe there are other ways. So we would love to hear from you as well. But as I said, you never know when that moment is going to come. You never know when we're going to end up as refugees. And we need to take this opportunity right now, every moment, every second we have, to share this so that other people know that the solution exists, and we can start spreading this all over the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Olga and Alex. Real quick, I would just like to share something that came to my heart. My friends and family members and the people in the United States, there's no such thing as American exceptionalism anymore. The world's too global and intricate and complex for that idea to exist anymore. And I don't know anyone that doesn't agree with the 8 foundations of the Creative Society project. Most people that have approached me or that I've had discussion with, they disagree with the how, because as Alex said earlier, we're addicted. Okay, we're addicted to shifting responsibility. That's the best way to put that. It's just an absolute addiction that's been forced upon us for generation after generation. But don't shift it anymore. Understand for yourself. If you don't understand a facet of one of the foundations, or you don't understand how it can be implemented, reach out. Okay, whatever your expertise is, let yourself be the one that helps develop the solution of how we can move forward under that particular foundation that you may not understand fully, or you don't know how it can be executed because you've had so much time of being brainwashed of that party, this party, when really you just want to articulate to people that you value human life. Well, here it is. It's right here. It's really that simple. And as Olga just placed it, actually very eloquently, time is not on our side. Okay, we live surrounded by water in the United States, so we're programmed to think that nothing's going to affect us. Look at some fault lines and look at their activity over the last 30 years. Just do that for yourself if you don't have time to watch the forum and you want to understand why it's so important, because there is no services that has the ability to ship 322 million Americans overseas. Our military doesn't have the capacity for that. There is no federal service that has the capacity to do that. Not in Canada, not in Mexico, and not in the United States. It's a problem that will require global connections and communications. Like it's really an illusion if you think that someone in DC or Virginia or New York or Chicago or Atlanta or California is going to drum up some federal services. So this is why you have to share the information, because no one's going to do it for you. No one. Like there's no one. Uncle Sam is not going to do it for you. So please share the information about the Creative Society, the 8 foundations. And if you honestly have a problem and you don't understand something, pick a person to reach out to. We're as open and as transparent as can be. Pick a person on the screen to reach out to and ask them a question. Okay, and then we'll get to the solution together, and we'll help you with that. Not a problem. Thank you so much, Olga and Alex, for opening this wonderful conversation up, because you get tired of really talking about the bad, because you've lived your whole life and you understand it, and it's so much more exciting to talk about the solution and how it is a viable and the only solution and the only thing worth my money, my time, and my attention. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Jason. Even after previous conferences, I was like really, really shocked in a good way by the amount of work that our participants do, because me, so as each one of us, we only do this small little piece of a puzzle, but then you see the whole picture. Oh, wow. Our participants really investigated the life of refugees, contacted the camps, found out how people live, what the problems are, what's human trafficking about, and did this amazing thing that any article covering creative society, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, should be like, there is this group of people which does amazing things, showing the problems and creating the workflow, the real solutions, the step-by-step guidelines as to how to fix the system in which we live in. And instead of that, we are being stigmatized, and they're trying to discredit us as climate denialists. To me, it was shocking and it was surprising. And at first I didn't get like, wait, hold on a second. Like the climate denialist, even as a term, doesn't make sense. Because we are not denying climate. I'm not denying. Our whole conference, like a big part of it, was about the climate change and the true causes of it, the cyclical nature of the climate change. So why climate denialist? So I went on the web pages on Wikipedia just to check what climate denialist means. And it turns out that it's a term for those people who deny the so-called consensus of the 97% of scientists who think it's anthropogenic. And I was like, wait, who asked all the scientists? I started to look into the 4 surveys that they refer to, and I found out that all of them are fake, forged data, which when you dig to each one of them, they are fake from top to the bottom. So I think let's call it the honest way. Let's call us the fake consensus denialists, because that's what we do. We deny the fake data that stands behind the CO2 money-making schemes. But then still, where's the climate denialist thing coming from? And that's what we found out during the interview. And Patrick Moore, one of the founders of Greenpeace, in preparation of this conference, he said when they were trying to stigmatize the people, they were trying to find the most offensive term. And they were looking for analogy for Holocaust denialists, because Holocaust denialist is people who deny Holocaust. So what can be more awful, more terrible stigma for your enemies as to compare them to Holocaust denialists? And that's why they use this terrible term, because in fact, when they trying to stigmatize you, it's because they are insecure about the foundation of where they stand, because they know it's a fake. It's a huge fake. It's based on nothing. And that's why they got so aggressive on media, on Twitter, when I found out what they write about us and how much efforts they put into discrediting the creative society. I was like, wow, it must be some nerve that we touched that really hurts for those who do this. And then we started digging, okay, what's about this climate change thing that's so sensitive? And then we came to the huge, tremendous money schemes, which involved forged data, fake scientists, bullying, the defunding of people who were honest, and how they were trying to stigmatize the astrophysicists who were publishing articles about the natural cycles. They were saying, let's refer to them as astrologers, as if their data is based on tarot card readings, not on science. And I was like, wow, this is whole hypocrisy that should be exposed. I was like, we have to show it to the people, because regular person who's taking train from Brooklyn to Manhattan and working 12 hours a day and then goes back to take a nap and come back to work, they do not have time. They do not have time for this. And if you have kids, then your life is, it's just a hamster cycle of work, sleep, eat, and repeat, and nothing else. And all it takes from each one of us is to find out the truth and start taking action to change it. I think it's amazing motivation for me to see this backlash and to even hit harder, like to work harder on what we do and to prove that we are right and we stand for the right thing and we are honest with it. So no matter who's trying to claim that you're being paid by big oil or that you stand for somebody else's interest, if deep in your heart you know what you stand for, you stand for the truth, and you did your research and you found out the truth and you're sharing it, that's worth living. That's a life that I can be proud of myself, that I'm doing a thing that I'm proud for. And if I'm going to have kids, they're going to be proud of their dad. That's what motivates me as well. So thank you, guys. Thank you all for being this family of people who stand together for a better future for the whole humanity, even though it sounds big, but this is true. Because what's the future of this humanity if we don't stand for the truth? Right? Thank you.
Yeah, right, Ali. And also, then we organize international and global forums as the previous one we are talking about. The only value which we want to really bring to people is that there is nothing more valuable than your life. And we stand for life of all people and every person in this world. And this is the uniqueness of the platform Creative Society, and this is the uniqueness of organization Creative Society and people standing behind this organization. Because honestly, we are so many, we are millions of people already, and none of us personally knows each other. But at the same time, we are working all together in every country of the world, in many corners of this world, for the same goal, to build a creative society and to protect a human life. And there is no other organization struggling for the same values, truly protecting human life, truly implementing the 8 foundations of the creative society in our life. Because whenever you are suffering from any problem today in your life, or you live in fear for something, the 8 foundations of the creative society is your solution, is your protection. And creative society is the ready model to implement so that your life changes. So, and we are so used to shift responsibility on someone, then even then we get the information that creative society is the ready model. There is a tendency to think that someone will build a creative society for you. But guys, we need to spread this information. Exactly, because nobody is going to protect your life but you. Nobody is going to build a creative society but you. So you, me, all of us who is participating, who didn't sleep for nights, for months, who were creating the contact and searching for the facts and preparing all this forum for you, even then they were starving. They were under the risk of life because there were bombs blowing over their minds in bomb shelters. Some of our participants yesterday, in order to make the interpreting and translation possible and to bring it to you, they were sitting in a field being eaten by mosquitoes for 10 years in Africa because they wanted you to hear about these facts. And this was the only place where they had internet connection. Can you imagine what people are capable for in order to protect your life? And if now we don't spread this information, then the world will not know about this forum. So the world will not know that there is a solution, the ready model. We will not unite. So everything is for nothing. And then, as our friends today said already, everything is going to get only worse and worse. So the tiny money responsibility each of us can take on is to share the information about the forum with people you know, or maybe take a small extract of the conference or a small video and record your video feedback, what you think, what you feel, how it affects you, how it concerns you, and share it with the world, because stories we share with each other, they are so much important. They make us feel and understand that we are not alone. who understand that there is something wrong with this world. We are not alone, and knowing that there is a solution is such a big motivation to live. And creative society is our only solution. And in respect with everyone who prepared this forum, in respect with everyone who really spent hours and hours to bring truth to the humanity, I feel my personal responsibility now is continue work, to continue spread the information. So we all have TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Many of us, they have YouTube. This is a platform where we can be proactive. We can be proactive, and we can show that we are people standing on the values of humanity, making our own choices, being with those who are for the good. And the people of goodwill should get organized. So let's get organized on this platform. Let's spread this information really, and understanding that it's not just a choice. I take my cup of coffee, or I don't take my cup of coffee. I share the information about the forum, or not share the information about the forum. It's right now by these small actions, we either give a chance to live to our kids, or by our inaction, we steal the future from our children. And not just steal the future, we betray them, because they will experience in this world a lot of atrocities, a lot of evilness, a lot of suffering if we don't act. So this is, for me, the most important motivation why we should act and spread this information.
Thank you for your wonderful contributions, dear friends. I can only agree with everything that you said. I want to make this really clear to everyone. What is this creative society we're talking about? This is a society that you think actually about every day. Be honest to yourself. How many times a day you're irritated by something, think about something that really is not made for people, something that is designed in a very stupid way. Somehow that you know that through your actions, indirectly, somebody gets affected, hurt, exploited in your country, on your continent, or maybe on the other side of the world. And I truly believe that you and 99% of people around you are good people. Be honest, look around you. Your family, your friends, they're good people. They do good. They do good to their friends, to their relatives. They do good. Yeah, how many people are really evil, evil, they want to do something bad? So if every one of us knows 99% of good people, this means that we're a huge mass of good people. A huge mass of good people all around the world. But we just put in this very wrong design that we also designed it, or we're complacent to it, and we're responsible for carrying it forward, of this race for profit, for power, for egoism, for personal ambition, of putting this me first, of always me first. We can have a totally different world where we put we first. And through this, we're all better off. Every single one of us, regardless where you live. If you live in Switzerland, in Sweden, in Singapore, in China, in Latin America, in Africa, in India, it doesn't really matter. Wherever you live and whoever you are, even if you're a very wealthy person, in the creative society, you will have a better life. You will have a better life. You will have more security. You won't have crime on the street. You won't be afraid to send your kids to school. You won't be afraid of going to another country. You won't be afraid for your business that you will be expropriated. You won't be afraid. You won't be afraid of losing your job. You will not live in fear any longer. You will not live in doubt. You will not live in this constant checking what's true and what is false. Every single person benefits in the creative society. As of today, some people would benefit more, some people would benefit relatively less, but still every single person has a benefit. So at the end of the day, we do want to live better, right? Or if we don't care about ourselves, then our children. If we don't have children, we have loved ones. We have people that we love. When we look into their eyes, we want them to be happy, to be joyful, to be free human beings, right? Every one of us has such people. So you can find motivation everywhere. In your family, in your circle of friends, you can find motivation everywhere. And it's about having, at the end of the day, a life, not only an existence, but a life and a true life. So spreading information about the creative society improves your life. I don't want to say it's like magic, like this, and tomorrow everything changes. From your cottage grows a palace or so. No, don't want to say this. It takes a bit of time. It takes a bit of effort. It takes to unite all the people, to inform them, to unite them. But just in a couple of years, 2, 3, 4 years, it is possible to really start structural, fundamental changes in our society, that we really put people first. And what does it mean, people first? It's not like in politics that we put it on, some billboards, people first and so on. No. Try, please, to do this exercise. That in every single relationship, social, economic, you get up in the morning, go to work, then meet some friends, or bring your car to the service, go to the doctors, come home, pick up your kids from school. In everything that you do, in every interaction with other people, you put human life first. In everything that you do, you respect the other person as a human and somehow improve his or her life. In everything that you do, in every social interaction. This is what the creative society is about. And we need this now because we want it. Because we're people, and in front of the challenges that we have today, from the true climate change, we want to live. This is what this forum was about. We are people, and we want to live. I think that's the basic truth. Thank you, everyone, for your participation today.
Christian, and can I ask all of you guys, can you maybe shortly, in 10 sentences, each of us, share why you think this forum is unique? Why is it different from any other forum? Why is it so special?
Well, guys, I can start. This forum was, I guess, for the time being, the most intense in terms of amount of data that was collected, structured, and shown. And it's not everything we found, because many things were left because of timing. So for me, it was important to see that how we went from just starting researching to really going cutting edge in all the geothermal things that are happening to the planet, really digging deep into technical details. And I mean, I'm not talking also about all the investigations that are still taking place for all other topics, but for this technical and scientific part. We really made a big breakthrough and started working with scientists together. So this was maybe the main thing for me.
I can go next then. This forum was made by people for people. Nobody is doing any business with it. Neither me, nor Olga, Alexey, or the guys translating this right now, or the technical team is making any euro, a gain of €1 or $1 out of this. Not a single person. And because of this, it's truthful.
Thank you. Yes. And I wanted to say that too, that this forum is so unique because it showed the truth. And everything first starts with the truth. So first, we need to see this truth, and then we can all continue and make further changes. So I think that is why it's so unique, because now the whole humanity, this truth is available to the whole humanity because the volunteers made it available in 100 languages. And it's, I'm so grateful to all the people who translated this forum so that every single person on the planet almost can have this information today.
Well, to me, it's a process when to find out this truth. Like we came across some facts in previous forums, in previous conferences we did. But then with each one further step, we try to reach out to more scientists, find out more facts, prove that creative society can be built, that it's real, that today's world is based mostly on financial schemes that are backed up by phony scientific theories. And when we dig to the core, we actually find it out. And usually people work with passion if they really love what they do. So in this case, we all do something we're really passionate about to prove that a better world is possible. And when we come across people who have been doing scientific research that is not beneficial for some political agenda, they are so happy that there are people who are naturally interested in their work, not for financial reasons, not for political reasons, for humanness, for the humanity, because your work is important. And this is how all of us as a civilization should make decisions. Which work is important? Where do we want to invest our money? And what's not so important? As we've been told yesterday, the whole humanity has to make decision as to one person, and not as in today's world, when one person decides if humanity is going to live or not. One psychopath who has power, or a couple of them, or many politicians. From traveling around the world and from living in different countries, I don't have any more illusions like regarding that some country has better politicians than the other. They all lie, and they all never deliver on their promises. And they all have good excuses. That's the best thing. In here, there is no excuse for you to be silent or to be inactive, because this is your future, and this is your relatives, your beloved ones, and everyone's, all their future is in your hands. It's whether are you going to post this forum on your social media and let people know about it, or you do nothing. But then, in a very short period of time, there will be consequences of inaction. When the things that we saw in Bucha or Kentucky is going to come to your house, and it doesn't matter if it's going to be human caused, but not by CO2. It's going to be human caused in sense of a war, or it's going to be natural caused as a natural disaster. It's going to destroy your house, and you're going to become a climate refugee or just a refugee. And then you're going to remember that there have been those guys and girls and participants of the creative society who has been saying to you that there is a way out. All you had to do is to share a post on your social media. But back then, you didn't have time for that, right? Well, then you're not going to have opportunity to change anything. So it's better to start taking action now. That is what makes this forum unique, that it can actually change our future. Instead of other forums made by COP26 and other stuff in Scotland, where their forums only changing their future, making their pockets bigger and making them better life when nobody cares about your life over there. This forum is by people who care about you. So I would pay attention to look into it and share the information. That's my take on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you so much. I want to honestly say a huge thank you to every single participant, every single volunteer that was involved in creating the forum, Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, those who spread the information, our information partners who've also shared the forum. I want to say a huge thank you, because you are the true heroes that are making, taking us closer to the creative society. And the truth is, the bottom line is that only in creative society can we overcome the crises that are happening today. We know that it's a cycle. We know that, climate is changing, and we know that soon the climatic disasters will come to our house. And only together can we overcome it. There is no ifs, there is no buts. We cannot, right now in the consumer society, we will not be able to overcome what's to come. It's impossible, because right now the cycle is not, the 12,000-year cycle is not even studied. So only in the creative society can we unite the scientific potential, our attention, and put it towards the real solution, what the people really need and what can save our lives, the lives of our families, and the whole society. And I would like to again thank everyone for participating. Also, I would like to make an announcement. Please, after watching the forum, if you have understandings, if you want to share something, please record a video and send it to us. You can send it to us at info@creativesociety.com. You can also make short clips from the forum and post them on your social media, send them to your friends, your family. If you have any other ideas, please send them to us. Also, these international discussions about the forum will be held on the Creative Society platform every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern Time or 15 o'clock GMT. Every single day. If you would like to participate. If you have something to share, if you would like to participate in the international discussion, please also email us at info@creativesociety.com. We would love to have you on. Creative Society is a platform for unification of all people. It is a project for all of humanity, for all 8 billion people. And we can build this creative society only together. So please share the forum and join us. We would love to hear from you. And until next time.
Do you know that people stopped being silent? International discussions.
The truth is that when it comes to migrations and refugees, it is a business.
I saw the market where the children selling out openly.
4 days we were facing the sniper shot us and the bullets above our heads.
If we do not address such issues like human trafficking, tomorrow it could be you, tomorrow it could be me.
Politics is driving the science, not the science driving the politics.
Many people want us to stop to talk, but I say no. This reality can affect and can take your life anytime.
People are losing everything.
$270 trillion.
Where is the money? And where is the result?
This 12,068-year cycle is a clock cycle.
All these problems that we're facing right now, you cannot tackle alone.
Thank goodness we have the Creative Society
to choose human life over currency.
We're living in one big home, and if this big family fighting with each other, destroy walls of the home, tomorrow we will find ourselves in the streets without a roof, without the families.
From every corner, we can actually hear that it is not economically beneficial. But the question is, economically, it is not beneficial for whom? Isn't beneficial for us people to save our own lives?
We need to bring together all of the intellect, all to the science, all of the people that can actually do something.
I think that the members of Creative Society are the new and real superheroes.
These people already understand that we should urgently act. Do you want to become part of changes? Take action. Don't be silent. You are invited to the new season of international discussions. Watch the forum, Global Crisis. We are people. We want to live. Changes begin from you.